Madoka Magica is many things, but you've probably heard of it as the deconstruction of the magical girl genre. Since this is how most people know about the show, I feel the need to address that deconstruction is not a statement of artistic worth. It's closer to a question, an approach to art that questions convention. But I think there's a lot more to Madoka than just being different. It's a really holistic work. If you've never watched Magical Girls, you'd be surprised to find that its themes are in conversation with those of the genre. The magical girl at her core is a girl trying to reach her ideal self. Looking at the genre's history, a lot of it involves young girls using magic to achieve their dreams. Creamy Mami got to be a singer, and Mew Mew Ichigo got to save the earth. The magic allows them to grow up, make a difference, and achieve their dreams. After all, it's pretty hard to do those things as a child. Within Madoka, we see a similar narrative. Madoka is a regular, kind girl who loves her family. However, this is a world looming with witches. Can Madoka make a difference? With the greater genre in mind, I'd like us to examine what Madoka adds to the magical girl canon, as well as to greater anime discussions. The first episode establishes our status quo. We meet Madoka, our innocent protagonist, getting ready for school. She's got an assertive mother who seems to be the breadwinner, and a calmer father who stays at home. While Madoka's mother is busy, she takes the time to get ready for her. There's a really sweet moment where she passes Madoka the towel that I think shows how much the two rely on each other, and her mother takes time to get ready with her, catch up, and even sticks around for breakfast. It's established that the two are very close and that Madoka's family means a lot to her. By showing what she has to lose, her future sacrifices mean that much more. Within this story, Madoka is our ingenue, a sweet, innocent young girl, and shortly after, we'll meet her counterpart. She walks to school with her confident friend Sayaka and their quiet friend Hitomi. The trio talk about love, a theme we'll cover later, before getting to school and meeting Homura Akemi, the new transfer student. From the moment she walks in, there's something off. Homura doesn't say a word. Instead, her gaze is fixed on Madoka, her sole focus. What's stranger is that Madoka's seen her before. The episode started with a dream sequence where Homura was lying at death's door. For anyone who says that Madoka's tone was a twist, I feel like the first scene kinda betrayed that. But anyway, the dream ended when a white feline asked Madoka to become a magical girl. After the class, Homura asks Madoka to take her to the nurse's office, and on the way, she asks Madoka a pivotal question. Do you value the people around you? Having spent the first half of this episode establishing Madoka's friends and family, I think it's clear what we're in for. This is a story about mortality. Let's start this section with a different kind of mother, a Mami. Tomoe Mami is Madoka's introduction to magic. At the end of the first episode, she saves her and Sayaka from a witch's labyrinth. What's that? Well, when witches appear, they form this really fun, creative world that's full of mixed media. It's so cool. You should probably just see it for yourself. Her poise signals experience, chatting casually as she fights, and in many ways, she's the group's magical mother. Once the duo save Kyubei from Homura's attack, she takes them on as magical girl proteges. When the girls fight witches, she protects them, and when the battle's done, they can all have tea at her place. As the lone magical girl in the city, Mami's excited to take them on. While she puts on a brave front, we come to learn that she has no living family. So how did she end up like this? To become a magical girl, one has to make a wish to Kyubei, and in exchange for it, they will spend the rest of their life fighting off witches. Mami made her wish at the scene of a car crash. A young girl in the car seat wishing to live. Deep down, Mami's quite lonely. As she explains, magical girls can't get along. They're pit against each other by the system. The grief seeds left behind by witches are valuable resources, but they can only be used once or twice to replenish magic, and so Mami fights alone. As most girls do, the magical girl works alone, but maybe she won't have to. By fighting the witches, by training the girls, Mami has inspired Madoka. A girl who was once content to stand on the sidelines can finally step forward because of her. Seeing Mami help people inspires Madoka too, and when she tells Mami, all that weight, all those tears are suddenly released. Mami's no longer alone, and so she rushes in to face the witch, excited to finally have found connection, what the accident had taken and what Kyubei guaranteed she would never have. As they head into their next fight, Mami can finally fight with joy, but tragically, this will be her last encounter. I've often wondered about Mami's death. Even now, it's something I don't quite understand. On a narrative level, her death marks the end of innocence. The girls are no longer safe or protected, but on a personal level, it just feels really tragic. But maybe Mami got what she needed. As fleeting as it was, wasn't there value and real joy in her final moments? Her time with Madoka and Sayaka. Let's reframe this within the episode. Earlier in the episode, Madoka's father explains why her mother works so hard, even though it costs her. The two have just put her to bed after she came home drunk, so it's unclear why she'd work so hard for something that's clearly stressing her out. His explanation is that Madoka's mom is someone whose wish was fulfilled by her way of life. Junko likes a challenge, and so she chose a tough job in the business world. While there's plenty of challenges along the way, the subsequent joy makes it all worth it. Some dreams come true like that, and perhaps Mami's did too. By taking on proteges and fighting together, her dream had become a way of life, her dream to find connection. And with that in mind, I find it easier to accept her death. No matter how heavy the burden of magical girlhood, the fleeting joy she felt in the end may have made it all worth it. Sayaka is Madoka's childhood best friend and the hyperactive counter to her calm persona. From early on, Sayaka's rather proactive. In episode 1, she asks Madoka to take her to the music store. Why? Because she wants to buy something for her sick crush. And when Madoka wanders into the basement, it's Sayaka who rushes in to save her. If Mami was the group's mother, then Sayaka is the savior. In episode 3, we meet Kamijo Kyosuke, a violin prodigy who Sayaka visits in the hospital. This is who Sayaka bought the music for. Being the series' only prominent male character, it's clear that he's important. This is the first time we see Sayaka so shy and timid, and the two share a silent musical moment. It's clear that Sayaka likes him, but as for Kyosuke, he's miserable. Hearing the music that Sayaka brought him brings him to tears. He was a former child prodigy, but an accident left him unable to play. This is where we first see Sayaka's savior complex. In response to his pain, she starts to wish that she could heal it. When she brought this up to Mami before she died, she was met with an important question. Does Sayaka want to grant his wish, or simply to be the person who granted it? As expected, Sayaka uses her wish to heal Kyosuke, and at the end of the episode, she dives in to save Madoka from a witch. History is repeating itself. By saving Kyosuke, Sayaka believes she's done something good, but like Madoka's mother says, you can't expect a happy ending by doing what's right. Sayaka's efforts to save people, while valiant, go greatly unnoticed. She doesn't tell Kyosuke what she did, and when Hitomi asks to confess her feelings, Sayaka lets her. Did she want to grant his wish, or simply to be the one who granted it? Sayaka's struggle here is analogous to the hidden labor that all women produce, countless hours toiling away for people who won't even appreciate her. Think back to the scene on the train. In episode 8, Sayaka's in the train next to two older men. They go back and forth about the stupid women in their lives, how they train them, use them, and discard them when they're done. When Sayaka confronts them, she talks about how hard these women are working, and how awful it is that no one will thank her. All that work, and for what? This is a show about reproductive labor. Reproductive labor is the work that most women do unpaid to support society. Think of caretaking, making breakfast, and gardening. All things we see Madoka's dad do. Intentional subversions meant to set this up. Men in Madoka are rare, so each time they appear, there is a clear point being made. Madoka's father, Kamijo Kyosuke, and the men on the train. Within Madoka, magical girlhood is analogous to reproductive labor. It's tiring, it's thankless, and it never really ends. Girls are slowly ushered into this labor at their own expense. While it's not one-to-one, since this is something they can opt into, it is supported by Sayaka's arc. So let's get back to that. Sayaka's descent into madness starts with Kyoko, an aggressive rival who only kills witches once they're strong enough. She stops Sayaka from killing a familiar, saying it needs to eat a few more people to become a full witch. While Sayaka hunts witches to protect humanity, Kyoko fights them for their grief seeds. She's perfectly fine letting familiars kill until they're strong enough to become witches. She's violent, she steals, and in her own words, she lives for herself. This is why she hates Sayaka. Sayaka's naive selflessness is a painful reminder, and a childish attitude that must be beaten out of her. Kyoko made the same mistakes in her past. When her father's church wasn't doing well, she wished that more people would listen to him. While her father worked in the light, Kyoko fought in the shadows. But when he found out, he killed his entire family. The trauma from this event left Kyoko deeply resentful. She acts out towards Sayaka partially out of fear that this girl might repeat her mistakes. Throughout the show, Kyoko is often associated with apples. Food comes up a lot with her, whether it's waiting for familiars to eat more people or refusing to waste any of it. But the apple ties in this symbol with her role in the story. Given her character's clear religious influence, the apple represents the knowledge that Kyoko holds. After all, in the garden, it was an apple that gave Adam and Eve knowledge of good and evil. So when Kyoko speaks to Sayaka and offers her an apple in a burnt-down church, I believe she's offering her worldview, the painful truth that she must accept as a magical girl. In this way, magical girlhood is also compared to adolescence, a violent process through which young girls must learn to navigate an unfair world. A world full of harsh truths that they might not be ready to hear. But the series' answer to life's hurdles, yet again, is connection. But how do they get from this to this? What could possibly bring these girls together? I would say shared knowledge. At the start, Kyoko sees Sayaka as a naive hero, and positions herself as the harsh truth standing in her way. But this illusion is broken when she finds out something that even she didn't know. Kyoko and Sayaka see eye to eye when they find out that Kyubei took their souls out of their body. In that moment, a hopeless situation turns dire. And this is what pushes Kyoko to open up to Sayaka. The two girls have had their bodies fundamentally altered without their knowledge. Sayaka wonders if Kyosuke could love a thing like her. As their harsh reality sinks in, the two turn to each other. Kyoko and Sayaka's friendship gives each of them what they were looking for, and continues the pattern of giving each girl just what they need right before their demise. In Kyoko, Sayaka finds reciprocity, someone looking out for her, someone trying to help. And in Sayaka, Kyoko finds her faith again, the leap of faith required to do something truly selfless, a worthy cause for her sacrifice. It makes sense when you consider all the religious themes that come up with her. And so, when Sayaka turns into a witch, Kyoko dives right in to save her. In their final moments, at least the girls have each other. During the last section, we found out that magical girls turn into witches, a rather telling revelation. Magical girls and witches, good girls and bad women. These are the foundations of this story's themes. When Sayaka started acting out as a magical girl, Madoka sought her mother's advice. And in that scene, we got one of the most important lines in the anime. You need to learn to make mistakes while you're young. So, can Madoka do it? Can innocence survive into the adult world? The answer is no. We did this last time, remember? Sayaka was naive, Kyoko was telling her the harsh truth, until they both learned how little they both knew. Mami put on a mature front, but really, she was a child just like the rest of them. One of the greater tragedies in Madoka is that none of these girls even survive adolescence. Magical girlhood is such a violent, transformative process that there's nothing left on the other side. With this in mind, it feels somewhat obvious that magical girls would be witches, because what kind of adult would one become under these circumstances? The innocent magical girl never becomes a magical woman, only a witch. Only a witch. Madoka wants to become a magical girl. She's tried to be multiple times, but Homura is always there stopping her. The first attempt is in the hallway in episode 1. Shortly after they meet, Homura asked her if she values her life and those around her, and of course, Madoka said yes. And to that, Homura warns her not to change lest she lose them all. To Homura, Madoka's transformation is a threat, but ironically, it's this very change that led to their connection. In episode 10, we follow Homura's journey throughout various timelines leading up to the current one. Using her time manipulation, Homura's been reliving the same time period to save Madoka, and in the first, the two are somewhat similar. Homura enters the class and makes a shy introduction. Burdened by her heart condition, she's unable to keep up in class and on the field. Her self-esteem is terrible, and yet Madoka still sees her. She helps her escape a conversation, and the two bond. Madoka is likely Homura's first friend in a while, and so, when a powerful witch comes to the city, and Madoka selflessly runs off to fight it, it feels so familiar. Finding connection right before she died, just like Mami, just like Kyoko. It would have made sense if Homura had died here, just like the rest. She had met Madoka, a girl who saw value in her, enough to sacrifice her life. And maybe that would have been enough. But that's not what happens. When Madoka dies to save Homura and the rest of the town, Homura says, "I wish you could have lived instead of saving someone like me." And so, on Kyubei's suggestion, Homura makes her wish to meet Madoka once again, but this time to be the one protecting her. Slowly but surely, throughout each timeline, she grows stronger and stronger, but with each subsequent loss, the two grow further apart. The Madoka that saved her and the Homura that needed saving never truly meet again. This explains the outburst we see in episode 9 when Homura begs Madoka to see value in her life, to think before jumping in to help others. By this point, Homura's watched Madoka die over and over again. She's tried to warn the rest, but they didn't listen. Homura's solo crusade is driven by her deep obsession with Madoka. Even when she's with Madoka, it's hard to say she's happy. This isn't the Madoka she fell in love with. Not yet. The Madoka Homura fell for was a magical girl. And as we go through each timeline, we watch a bright, friendly girl grow more and more docile. By the current timeline, Madoka's much closer to where Homura started, timid and helpless. Homura's interference keeps Madoka stagnant. If magical girlhood is like adolescence, then Madoka is stuck in eternal childhood, kept innocent and unable to act selfishly toward her own good. This is supported by episode 6, when Madoka seeks her mother's advice about Sayaka. Madoka's mother says, "You grew up to be such a good child. You need to make mistakes while you're still young." The series views selfishness as a requirement for adulthood. Madoka's mother ruthlessly climbs the corporate ladder. Kyoko takes what she wants from a world that won't thank her, and the witches take out all their frustration on the world around them. In this timeline, thematically, Madoka is a child, but a chick cannot grow from inside its shell. In the series finale, Walpurgis Night comes to the city. This is the witch that took Madoka's life. Time and time again, Homura fails to defeat it. In the current timeline, she works hard to keep Madoka out of danger, to keep her from becoming a magical girl, to keep her from saving someone like her. But that's not who Madoka is. She's a selfless girl who threw her life away to save her city. Madoka loves those around her. It's established in the first episode. And that love gives her strength. In one of the past timelines, Madoka asks Homura to save her, before she even made the mistake of becoming a magical girl. But this time, even knowing the risk, she makes her wish, to erase all witches before they were born. Madoka makes this wish to honor the feelings of magical girls, that at the end of their journey, their fight won't have been in vain. And this is what makes the final episode so tragic. Homura has to watch as all her work comes undone, as Madoka chooses a fate worse than death. Rewriting reality turns Madoka into a permanent concept in the universe, erasing her personhood and taking her away from everyone. But Madoka was always going to do this. She's selfless to a fault. She can't be like her mother. Despite Homura's efforts, Madoka was always going to save her, in every timeline, no matter the cost. Before she vanishes, as the universe rewrites itself, Madoka speaks to Homura one last time. Unbound by the rules of time, this is a Madoka who sees all that has happened and all that is possible, who can fully appreciate Homura's sacrifice. For the first and potentially last time, Homura reunites with a Madoka that saved her. But her bliss is temporary, and soon she's left with nothing but a memory. None of the girls get what they truly wanted from their wishes. Instead, they find it briefly before losing it to death or circumstance. In truth, what they needed was each other. The joy of companionship, the joy of reciprocity, and the joy of reunion. This is what really matters, the people we love and value. That's why Madoka could give up her humanity, why her mother let her leave the hurricane shelter, why Kyoko saved Sayaka, why Sayaka didn't regret her wish. The most powerful thing, even in a world of magic and wishes, are the fleeting connections we make with each other. And yet, death's door remains haunting. How can we ever face the end? Well, what if we didn't have to? At the end of the Madoka anime, Homura wanders alone in the desert, and we see two black wings sprout from behind her. But at the start of the movie, she's just fine. In fact, they're all fine. Mami, Kyoko, and Sayaka all go to school with Madoka. The witches are gone, and so the girls fight nightmares. Without the grief seeds, magical girls can team up. It is the perfect timeline for everyone. Mami's not alone anymore. She has baby. Remember the witch that killed her? Well, it's here now. Kyoko and Sayaka can lean on each other. This timeline gives each girl what they were robbed of in their real lives. The connections they needed while they were alive. It's perfect. Too perfect. Throughout the movie, we get countless shots of empty streets and silent scenery. Beyond the main five, there's not many people outside Madoka's bubble. In fact, it seems like only people Madoka cares about still exist. When Madoka made her wish, everyone else forgot about her. Everyone but Homura. The fleeting nature of connections is what makes them so valuable, and yet, through her time magic, Homura sought endless time with Madoka. This doesn't lead to endless happiness, but rather frustration. With each time loop, Homura grew further and further apart from the girl she loved. So when they meet again in the movie, it makes sense that Madoka says, "It's strange, but I get the feeling I've wanted to talk to you like this for a long time." A sentiment Homura echoes. What this world offers them is time, something no magical girl has the right to, all stripped of their lives before adulthood. The series often drew parallels between Madoka's selfless love and Homura's selfish love. Madoka leaves the world behind for the sake of all magical girls. In contrast, Homura rewinds time endlessly, holding the world hostage for the sake of one girl. Time is a constant theme in Madoka. Their tragedy is heightened by the age that they die at, barely escaping adolescence. Each of them finding what they needed mere minutes before they died. I believe that Homura's first mistake was seeking more time, and Madoka's first mistake was indulging that. The impermanence of life gives it value, and so in this permanent world, it makes sense that Homura would be unhappy. Her wish wasn't just to meet Madoka, but to protect her instead. This is not a world where she needs protecting. The group joke about in battle and no one dies. The nightmare restores all their magic, so there's no competition. This is a world designed to protect Madoka. And that's when it hits Homura that this is her world. Reuniting with Madoka isn't what she hoped for. She wanted to protect her like she did before, time and time again. But what about Madoka? In this movie, she begs Homura to share her burdens, and yet Homura takes it all on herself. When Sayaka was spiraling, it was Homura who called out her inability to seek help. When Homura looks at Mami, she calls out her tough veneer. And both times, I believe she's recognizing a part of herself. In fact, in Madoka's helplessness, Homura probably sees a bit of her past self. It's clear what parts of Madoka Homura wants to keep. The weak girl that needs protection, not the magical girl or the law of cycles. Time and time again, in the face of Madoka's sacrifice, Homura undoes it. She will not let Madoka save her. It must be the other way around. Madoka's happiness, desires, and actions mean nothing. Everything can be undone. What exactly is she seeking? Madoka's eternal dependence. Her selfish search for eternity has corrupted her love. Each time loop, the girls grow further apart, and by the end of the series, and even Rebellion, the two have spent very little real time together. Many a think piece has been written on whether Homura's a good person, but that question doesn't really interest me. Homura's time magic is a perversion against one of the series' core themes, to find meaning in our short lives through human connection. Madoka's family who she has to leave. Mami, Sayaka, Kyoko. And for Homura, that connection is Madoka. Rebellion questions the innocence of a so-called happy ending, as we see Homura rip Madoka from godhood and create a world in which everyone can be happy living together forever. Despite the tragedy in the original series, at the very least the girls had autonomy. They made the best of their terrible choices, and however brief, the resulting joy was real. With the new movie on the horizon, I'm eager to see how this world and its characters will evolve. What new themes will we be exploring? If you enjoyed this, I want to know what you took away from Madoka Magica. This essay was a condensation of all my thoughts on the series, and I wanted to tie a through line between the different themes and analogies that this show has. If you'd like anything clarified, be sure to leave a comment, but also share your thoughts because I'm really excited to see how people feel about it over 10 years later. Once again, big thank you to all of this channel's supporters. Be sure to join the Patreon to get more updates on what I'm working on. Let's appreciate our current members: Gabby, Imaru the Fiore Lover, Rugia, La Perla del Gacha, Gerard Kachaturian, Mohammed Oscar Hakim, Nya EXC, It's Blue, Reski Amalia, Suzaku, Celine Envoy, Ayusha Rai, Ella Corcoran, Kit Kate, Evelina Poinsett, Lumin An, Babu Braz, Mario Lashimwe, and a very special thank you to Nomura. Anyway, we'll catch up when the new Madoka movie is released, and I will see you guys next time.